will not just survive. Freedom is near. I choose to thrive. I will live full force, never on my knees. I will smash the door if I can't find the keys. I will not back down, I will not yield. Just like William Wallace, I need no shield. I am different, I am not the same. I am not the same.
All right. What's up? I don't know about you guys. Can you hear me loud and clear this morning? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thumbs it up. Holla back at your girl. Let me know. Because I got up earlier than normal, even did my workout earlier than normal, and am ready to absolutely bring some fire this morning. So if you're ready to be fired up, I literally put in the chat, I don't think I've ever said that. Don't even bother coming on here if you are not ready. If you don't want to be challenged, if you don't want me to get all over up on your toes, if you don't want to feel like you're about to just go punch the sun, just don't even hop on here. If you're just like in your victim head, like, oh, this is so hard, don't even be on here because I'm about to kick your little ass. Okay. So, good morning. Happy Monday. I am 37 weeks pregnant and I am bringing every bit of energy that I have to this call this morning because I'm feeling it. Okay. I am feeling it. So, if you are able to, I want you to turn your camera on because there's a level of accountability that comes when your camera is on. Okay. There's a level of I'm here for it when your camera is on. It's next level. Prove to yourself that you're ready to do this. So I love it, Sharon. Let's kick some booty. I love it. Let's go. If you're in that boss energy, turn your camera on. Nobody cares what you're doing. Nobody's looking at you. I promise. Okay. Two things we're going to talk about this morning. And I heard it, I listened to it yesterday on a podcast. I listened to it today on a podcast. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you loud and clear. Let's go. We're going to talk about two things today that will absolutely be the key to success. These two things I have personally learned through hard knocks, through valleys, through victories. I have seen this play out in my friends' lives. I've seen this played out in any successful person I know. If you want to be successful, I want you to unmute right now and I want you to say, I want to be successful.
I want to be successful.
I want to be successful.
You want to be more successful than you are. I want you to drop a fire emoji in the comments. I want you to start telling your brain, I am successful. I am next level. I am these things that we're going to talk about today. The first thing is hunger. And I want you on a scale of 0 to 10 right now, right where you are now. Evaluate who you are right here, right now. How hungry are you from 0 to 10? Okay. 10 being that you are absolutely obsessed with your goals. Like, I mean, nothing can stop you. And 0 being, I'd like it. Okay. Because here's where I see the difference between people who are truly hungry and people who would just like their goals to come true. Okay. And I'm going to explain the difference because I really have realized through conversations with people who are truly hungry, when I have conversations with people who are hungrier than me, when I have conversations with people that are making double the money I'm making, and I can tell the difference because they're hungrier, okay? I want to talk about real hunger. I want to talk to you about literally picturing in your head something crazy has happened, and you have to get home to one of your babies. You have to get home because there's a house fire up in your house. You have to get home because something has happened to your spouse. Okay. Lived that out. Lived it. If you're in a seminar and someone comes and taps you on the shoulder and they're like, ma'am, something has happened at home. It's a grave situation and you need to go. Are you thinking to yourself, I don't want to get up and make a scene. I don't want Ashley to think that I'm crazy and going to just get up and leave. I don't want to disrupt the speaker. Are you thinking any of those things? No, you're up out of your chair and you're out the door, right? The security guard's like, oh, ma'am, you can't, if you leave, you can't come back in. Don't care. See you later, right? Don't care. Don't even look at me, talk to me, anything. I'm gone. You would stop at absolutely nothing. You can't get an Uber. What are you doing? Are you just like, well, I guess I can't get, hey, I won't be able to make it because I can't find an Uber. I can't get there. I get in the car and the Uber driver's like, just real slow and chit chatty. You're like, listen, Linda, I need to get home. Like my hair's on fire. Like you need to drive me home. You would stop at nothing. You're at 10. You know what I'm talking about? You're at an absolute 10. If you need to feed your kids or yourself, are you at a 10? Caitlin's paycheck didn't come in. Her husband can't make money. Something happened. Is Caitlin sitting at home just like, I'd like to make some money. That'd be great. Or is she freaking dumpster diving to get some food? So I want you to evaluate, if that's a 10, how hungry are you? Or do you just want to, it'd be nice to have my goal. It'd be okay. I'd like Ruby. It'd be fun. I have yet to meet a successful diamond who did not operate off of some kind of crazy hunger. And for a long time, I associated hunger with like desperation, meaning desperate was bad. Meaning desperation is, my husband's died, my parents have died, I have to feed my kids, I've got to do all these things, which were accurate for me. But how does a person, okay, just find desperation if you don't really feel desperate? That is where your why comes in. That is where you have to decide, why do I want this? What is going to drive me to the next level? And nobody can figure that out but you. And he was talking on this podcast I listened to, he was talking about the greats who just find that next level of desperation. They want it more than you want it. One of the greatest running backs of all time, this is a true story. One of the greatest running backs of all time in football history was not the fastest by far, was way down in the ranks on speed, way down on the ranks on actually executing any kind of plays, way down on the ranks of strength and size. He was the shortest, smallest, all the things against him. And they're like, but you are literally the best running back by far, Hall of Fame in the league. Why is that? And he's like, I want it more than anybody else out there. I want it more. Hunger is literally what you're looking for. So I want to feed that hunger. So whether I'm 37 weeks pregnant, whether I'm going through a widowed journey, whether I'm trying to feed my kids, or whether I'm making baller money sitting at my poolside thinking, man, this is really nice. How can I get hungry? You feed your hunger. You remind yourself every day, why am I doing this? And who am I doing this for? I fire myself up every day that I can by listening to something that reminds me, I want to be hungry. I want to do this. Because here's what happens is that when you would like the goal, everything else becomes a priority and Plexus is your side gig. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why I literally gave a clear freaking disclosure. Do not come on this call if that is you, because I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to make you feel like a loser if that's you, right? And but that's not who I'm talking to, because I'm 100% like, if that's what you want, I lived there for a long time. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to listen to anything. And I would get all up in my feelings when somebody was like, well, I'm doing this and this and this and this. I'm like, well, they're just they're so fancy, or they're too busy, or I would hate that. I judge it, right? You judge successful people. Oh, their kids are spoiled. No, they're not. They have opportunity that you would only wish for your kids. But instead of them sitting back and wishing and hoping, they're hungry for it. They will stop at nothing. They will get up early. They will stay up late. They will move mountains to make the success happen. And who you become in the process is literally unrecognizable. It is the best feeling in the entire world. When you are desperate, when you start to not look at desperate as a bad thing, I on this podcast, I was like, it's so good. He said, desperate people are willing to look different. Desperate people are willing to step out of the crowd to get to their family. The desperate mom, I've lost my son. He was 4 years old at a football game, and he was just like all of a sudden missing. I didn't care. I didn't care who you were. I didn't care how ridiculous I looked running around looking for Gage. Okay. I was like running around this football field like a crazy person looking for my son. And literally, this is a true story. I had just gotten married. Okay. We just gotten remarried. Gage is 4 years old. We're at a football field that he doesn't know, with a lot of family that frankly, he doesn't really know all that well. Okay. Literally, a cop finds him because someone grabbed him and took him to a cop, and the cop was there, and he came over, and they're like, what's your dad's name? And he's like, I don't know. This is a true story. Okay. Couldn't remember what Rodney's name was. It's so funny. We laughed about that forever, because then we try explaining that to the cop, because he's like, what? So anyway, this crazy story. Nothing. I didn't care how ridiculous it sounded. I didn't care who I had to ask. We were asked, where is he, right? What has happened? Nothing will stop you. When you're that hungry, when you're in that zone, right? It doesn't mean that something bad is happening. It is the most powerful human emotion to push you to success. So when I first started Plexus, my desperation was my late husband. Can I tell you, ladies, something? When your husband is sole provider and he's stressed out, can I tell you that that is a legit thing? And watching him stress to provide for us literally drove me to a whole new level of me. It drove me to a whole new level. And he had a year of life where he didn't have to work his backside off every single day, got to spend more time with his kids before he died. And I will never, ever regret doing that, ever. Stress is the number one killer. Let your desperation lead you. Stop being afraid of it. Stop seeking out. I need peace at all times. I need to feel perfectly perfect all the time. It is a first world luxury to feel depressed, anxious, and stressed out. It is a first world luxury. I would have loved to have sat at home when my husband died and looked at my children and been like, hey guys, you know what? I'm just going to choose to not feel stress. I'm going to choose to just really sit in my grief. I'm going to choose to just sit in the healing. I'm going to choose to just sit in this and really just be like, I'm just too busy to do, like, we're just going to go on food stamps. I'm going to call the welfare station. We're going to go and live, on the streets. We're going to be homeless probably. And, that's just what we're going to do. It's a choice. Can I tell you? It's a freaking choice. It's a choice to decide, do I want to just sit here and let this happen to me? Or do I want to step into it? And our society tells us seek comfort at all cost. Don't do the sip and see by yourself because you'll be uncomfortable. Don't tell your family, hey, I got to step out of the room and go work. Because listen, both of my brothers made so much fun of me when I joined Plexus. And as a gold ambassador, that's hard to handle. Oh, it doesn't work. That's ridiculous. I will tell you, as a diamond, it's a whole lot easier to be like, I could burn the extra income I make in my backyard for what you make. Okay. Like I make no problem running around my Louis Vuitton and my Gucci sunglasses on in front of them. I love it. I love it. But when I was a gold ambassador making $300 a month, I didn't know. But I had to look at them and be like, don't care. Watch this. Watch me go. Watch me do my thing. Having no clue where anybody was going to come from. Exactly. It's the hold my beer, right? You've got to get into that mode no matter what it looks like. Whatever that desperation feeling is for you, you need to find it. You need to tap into it and you need to let it drive you. You need to let it drive you. Trisha Rieger has not had any kind of crazy thing happen to her. Her husband's still alive. Her parents still alive. Her siblings are still alive. She's have 7 kids. She's hungry. She's hungry. She gets up every day at the same time. She gets up early. She does the things. She's in her chats. She's not making excuses. You know, not one time has she come to me and been like, I'm overwhelmed. She has 7 children and homeschools and runs a massively successful organization. It is a first world luxury to feel overwhelmed by your life. And when you start thinking of it that way, you start realizing, dang, I better get to work. We are a society that does not want to work. And I raise both my hands up because I hate it. I hate working. I would never go to a 9-to-5 job. I have anxiety thinking about a 9-to-5 job, literally. First world problem, Alita. Nobody cares. And guess what? When my kids were 6 and under and I was making $3,000 a month, and that's all the money that I had at all coming in, 9-to-5 was not like, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to do something. And so I threw all my eggs in one basket with Plexus and I went all in and I just went full throttle. And 4 months later, I was Emerald. Don't tell me you can't absolutely move mountains and kick serious ass when you decide and make a decision. When that hunger is there, that desire is there, that force is there. The key to success is, how hungry are you? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Do you want it more than you want your little 7-year-old kid going to D1 school? So you're putting them in every single thing that they can do. Do you want it more than that? Do you want it more than you want sleep? Do you want it more than you want to watch Netflix? Again, I put a big disclaimer on here. Do not come on here if you don't want to be challenged. Do you want that next level more than you want almost anything else? You want it more than you can even handle it. Because those are the feelings that take you to diamond. Those are the feelings that take you to emerald and sapphire and diamond and moving on. And at every level, you'll have to kick it in. You'll have to kick it in. What do I want? What do I need and why? What do I want? What do I need and why? Why would more money be nice? Desperate people, I love Ed Mylett said this. He said, desperate people are willing to look stupid. They're willing to step out of the crowd. They're willing to do what other people won't do. They're willing to do what other people won't do. As a single mom who had just lost my husband, I can tell you that it was very desperate of me to start posting on social media about a pink drink after he died. Right? That's probably my number one question from people. How do I just start posting? I'm like, you just do. You just do it. Desperate people literally don't care how. They don't care about the how. How do I run and sip and see? Don't care. Gonna do it anyway. Desperation brings out a whole reservoir of creativity you didn't even know you had. So if you set a goal for yourself and you're like, I want to earn icon by August 31st. And I had said last Monday, I said, raise that up to July 30th. What difference does it make? You put pressure on yourself. That's how you create desperation. You put pressure on yourself. You put yourself out there. You put on your social media straight up. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. And you show up every day in that energy on your social media. You become that person in pursuit of the goal. You become that person who is unstoppable by literally just keeping on showing up. If you're in my little accountability group, you know that day 7 of your reels, you're like, okay, this stretched me. And if it stretched you, I want you to picture how much are you avoiding and missing if 7 days of posting a reel felt uncomfortable? Come on, I'm talking to somebody. If posting about 10 a.m. makes you uncomfortable. I want you to picture what it actually takes. Here's a great thing, a great comparison. If you want to be a doctor, okay, you have to go to school for 7-8 years just to be a doctor. You're at least, I mean, every reel I've seen on it is about $400,000 in debt if you don't pay for anything, okay? You're $400,000. You're paying $400,000 for that doctorate. And then if you want to specialize in something, it's even more. If you want to be a surgeon, it's even more, all these things. Then you got an intern for free or making only like $70,000 a year. Then you get to be a doctor. So let's say by the time you're 30, you're a doctor. 10 years of education, all of these things. And then you're going to make X amount of money a month. Do you know that most doctors are so in debt, they can hardly function? And yet we're like posting a reel by 10 a.m. every day. Dang. It's so hard. Alita, posting my pink drink. What do I say? Come on, Shannon. You know you love this. Oh my gosh, these chats are so overwhelming. I can't keep up. What else do I hear? I'm exhausted. Can I tell you, don't ever tell a 37-week pregnant person with 9 kids that you're exhausted. Just don't even come at me with it. Just don't even. Okay? Just don't. One of my boys, I started complaining about, I'm so sore from football. I'm like, are you? Are you? I'm so sorry. No one cares. No one cares. Okay? Not even your mama. So that's a real problem. I slept through my alarm. No one cares, Wyatt. No one cares. Okay? Get up anyway. Figure it out. Set 2 alarms. Figure it out. And I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to you guys. Just know that. But this is the thing, is as I'm listening to this podcast, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling so fired up out of conviction of next level desperation and what that looks like. And can I believe that desperation can come from a good place? I do. I do. I believe desperation come from a place of, I want to absolutely change my life again. Because I know the power of what it's done for me now and how it's shifted absolutely everything. right? But if you get comfortable where you're at, you're not ever growing. And so it's like, if I want to have a house in Italy and I want to have a house in over here and I want to have a house in Canada and I want a house here, it's like, that's going to take some money. And if I keep having the babies the way I'm having the babies, I'm going to need some more money to keep my lifestyle up, to wear my Gucci's around my brothers, right? I got to keep it rolling. I want to keep rolling in the hundies, and that's okay. But it is a lie that if you feel called to do big purpose things, it is a lie from the devil himself that you can just stay comfortable where you are and stay content. It is a lie that you are overwhelmed. It is a lie that you are burnt out. That always cracks me up. I'm like, do you see the Ethiopian person being like starving? Their children are starving and they're like, I'm burnt out. I just can't go to work today. It is a first world luxury. Like, it just fires me up. I don't even know why I picked Ethiopia. I hope, like, I don't even know if that's true, but I'm just saying, it's like, in my head, that's where I go. When my husband died, I remember telling my kids, we're not alone. We're not the only family that this has ever happened to. Because that is the lie. It isolates you. Poor me. Nobody has parents like I have parents. Nobody has my situation. Nobody understands me. Nobody gets what I'm going through. Nobody's been through the divorce I've been through. That is so not true. It is so not true. It is a first world luxury to complain about those things. It is a massive first world wealthy privilege for me to be like, I have so many kids. I'm just trying to work my business with my full-time help around the house. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay. But every time you up level, those are the thoughts that are going to come in your head. I joined one of this lady's chats, and I literally was like, the first thought, I was like, this is too much. This is too much, because I know it's too much. She makes double what I make, and I'm like, you're too much, sis. That's our problem. We think everyone else is too much because we're not desperate enough to get out of our comfort zones to really push it to the next level. Well, what if Nicole, what if Caitlin thinks that I'm, too harsh? What if Dee Dee gets her feelings hurt when I just lay it down? What if Lisa just rolls over and quits if I tell the truth? What if, right? Those are the things we tell ourselves. And says, like, this is the big one. My team will get overwhelmed. Well, if you tell them they're going to be overwhelmed, hell yeah, they're going to be overwhelmed. Nobody wants to go silver. Well, if you're telling yourself that on repeat, nobody wants to go silver. Right? So what are you telling yourself? Get out of your first world luxury and really get into it. Because here's the thing. You're not promised anything. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised not a life-changing event happening. Joey's son was in with a brain surgery in December and went emerald 2 months ago. You are not exempt. You are not exempt. And so if you've been sitting around and you're making good money and you're like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. You're not exempt from life changing. And here's what my core belief is that if you're on this call and that if you have chosen to do Plexus as a business, then you are responsible to steward it well. And I feel that at my core. So it's like, I'm not allowed to bring someone on. I'm not allowed to bring Alicia or Nicole on and say, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And then just dip out whenever it feels good to me and convenient to me. I consider that a major integrity issue. So if you've decided, I want to do this, how hungry are you? Sometimes I get hungrier for my people than I get hungrier for myself. Sometimes I can get hungrier for my children than I can for myself. So you've got to find what keeps me hungry, what keeps me showing up in the game, what keeps me on the verge of desperation. And I want to go and talk to these people that are anti-hustle culture, that are like, peace like a river. That's all you ever need. Just pray for what you want and just sit back and watch me. It's like, listen, I understand the heart of that, but having walked out the actual trauma of real life that God giveth and taketh away, can I tell you that there was peace alongside the hustle? I had to move. I had to take action all the time. And so that is something that people use as a scapegoat a lot, that really, really, I feel is hurtful, because it's like, so why didn't he just drop that in my lap then? You have to do the work. Work works. Work works. And so when we take it and we want to steward it well, and we want to be a good example, and we want to do the things, and then we're like, and this is the other thing. I literally did a coaching on Friday, and I said, send me the business messages you're sending. I promise you this, they were 10 out of 10s. The messages were phenomenal. I was like, wow, this is a really good message. She's like, I know, why isn't it working? I said, yeah, that's a good question. How many of you sent? Anybody want to guess? Yeah. She sent 3 since April. Now, is that bad? No, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. This is not a shame thing, okay? When I hear stuff like this is the difference. You either take it as shame or you take it as inspiration. Don't victimize yourself. Don't take this and be like, I'm so horrible. Literally take it and be like, I can up level this, right? I can look at my own messaging and say the same thing. You got great messages, Alita. How many of you sent out? So I want you to picture that the person who is in my life right now, that is really, I'm just like a sponge around. She's making between $50,000 and $60,000 a month. Okay. The next person that I've been a sponge around is making $85,000 a month. Can I tell you what they're doing? Do you want to know? Because you might as well know now. You might as well just bypass all the things and do it. They message 30 people a day. They're in conversations. It's real simple. They're in conversations. They didn't stop at Diamond. They didn't stop at Emerald. They didn't stop at Sapphire. And here's a huge realization I've had around desperation and hunger that has been very, very eye-opening to me, is that if you need to rest and recover after you hit a rank, you've actually not become that person. You've not become the habit-formed person that needs to be there to maintain it. If you need, I'm going to say it again, if you need to rest and recover after you've hit a goal, it's because you've not maintained, it's because you've not created the habit. So where your points are is a reflection of, this is how much I'm willing to work. And I have heard this my whole career, and I've literally wanted to slap every person who's ever told me that. Literally, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know me. You don't know me. Okay. I like become a little gangster. Like, you don't know my life. Turns out it's true. Turns out it's true. If I want to make $50,000 a month, if I want to make $80,000 a month, it is possible in the next 6 months. ChatGPT told me to. It is possible in the next 6 to 18 months for me to make $80,000 a month if I want to. What is it going to require? it's going to require a little more work than I already do. So my job is, how can I make that sustainable, build it into my life and make it work? Work works. It's a brilliant idea. Work works. So if I'm hungry, okay, hungry and desperation are hand in hand. I'm so hungry. And if you ever done a 3-day reset and your kids are sitting there and eating mac and cheese, it could be something you hate even. You're like, I hate this mac and cheese, so gross. And you're like, I would give anything for that mac and cheese. And then you start getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier, right? You've got to feed your desperation. So one thing that I have learned is I don't like to feel like I'm not working as hard as the hardest person working in the room. That's something that motivates me. So instead of being the hardest person working in the room, I've moved myself to a place where I'm like, dang. So I start the judging, right? It's like a little 3-step program. Okay. You're going to judge them. You're going to be like, they're crazy. No wonder they make so much money. They be working some more. Okay. So I start judging. Then I realized, wow, it's actually not that much more. It's actually really not that difficult either. It's pretty simple. And if I plan it out, I could do it instead of scrolling on my Facebook. I'm talking to somebody. I could literally do what she's doing right now with the time I have allotted for work if I'd stop talking to my friends. If I'd stop calling my current builders, be like, how you doing? What you doing today? What's going on? If I would just send my messages and do my reels and do my stories instead of talking about, oh, and then I'm going to try this. And I think I'm going to try this. Stop talking about it and just do it. It would literally take you the same time. I guarantee you. I guarantee you the amount of time you're probably already working Lexus now, if you actually worked it the right way, if you sent messages and you just got to work, Amber, do you agree with me? I see you're like, yeah. If you actually did the things, you'd be done. So if you're desperate enough and you have that hunger in there, and then you, number 2, laser focus. Hunger and focus are the 2 things. You're going to feel crazy. You're going to feel like, wow, this is really out of my comfort zone. Wow, I don't know all the things. You're going to feel that way. When I started posting more in our chats, when I started really being more direct, I felt a certain way. Lisa messaged me and she's like, you sound very angry on when you 2-time, when you click 2x on someone's call on the voice message, she's like, you sound like an angry little elf. And I was like, I know. And I'm like, I'm trying so hard not to be, but she's like, but if you want to exit, you don't. I was like, okay, good. So there's feelings you're going to have. And I know we're going over today and I'm okay with it. If you have to go, you have to go, but you have to be willing to learn and fail. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and maybe not get the response you're looking for. When I started Power 30, I had 3 people hop on. I was a Sapphire team. I had 3 people. Caitlin, can you imagine doing a Zoom right now with only 3 people hopping on? You'd be like, something's wrong. You'd be like, this ain't working, right? But I kept with it because I really felt like it was something that needed to happen. And then slowly, it started building. And it's something now that we can actually track. Where Megan and Cheryl and I have sat down, we're like, okay, do we need Power 30 still? We would take it away for a summer. We would take it away for breaks. And we would notice massive enrollment lessened. Like, it's become a staple part of our business of really building community. And it's important to us that we're on here sharing with you. It's important that Caitlin's on here talking to you on Wednesdays, and Lisa's on here talking to you on Tuesdays, and Cheryl's on here talking to you Thursdays. Like, it's important. You need to limit distractions when you're thinking about laser focus. So if you like, and some of y'all have been making fun of me because I'm like, no drugs and alcohol, but like, if you like to party or whatever, maybe you need to lessen that for a little while and focus in. That's what this podcast said. I was like, okay, I'm listening. Not that I've been getting to do any partying lately, but then if you like to watch TV, maybe take your TV out of your bedroom, right? Lessen down your distractions so that you can't blame at the end of the day, wow, I've just felt so distracted. I couldn't do it. Create a habit for yourself. So Power 30 actually was developed. The brainchild of this was so that Lisa and I could be accountable to each other every morning. I'm like, it's like a job. We've got to show up. So maybe you grab some of your friends and you create an accountability where it's like, this is what we're doing every day, come hell or high water. This is what we're doing. Your ability to laser focus will directly impact the speed of which you go. So am I laser focused in on where I'm going? And so I want you to put in the comments from a 0 to a 10, 0 being absolutely, I'm not focused at all, to a 10, am I laser focused on my Plexus business? And drop a number. 5 being like, I take notes, I post once a week, maybe twice. 7 being like, I'm on top of it. Like I am doing the things. And then 10 being you're radical. People are like, dang. 10, here's a good way to put it. 10 is a Joey, where it's like, I'm coming in hot. You telling me that I can't watch me? I mean, lost her voice, lost her arm, lost her freaking everything else in between, and literally developed 4 level 1 goals. That's a 10. I can promise you, I love Joey and I think she's special, but she doesn't have anything you don't have. You could do the exact same thing. You literally can do the exact same thing. It's just, where's your focus? Where's your laser focus? And I think that we misunderstand laser focus for I can't spend any time anywhere else doing anything else. That's not it. I watched Megan literally have babies and move states and live with her parents in a small cabin with 4 kids and a new baby, and while they were waiting for their house, and literally doing like 20 calls a day just with kids everywhere. It was crazy, right? It doesn't mean you're not present in your life ever. It doesn't mean you're not with your kids. It just means, what am I willing to do here? I'm willing to make it work. I'm willing to make it work. It means if I'm on a boat somewhere, I'm still messaging. It means if I'm, swimming with my kids in the pool, like it is never far from my mind. Like I'm checking my phone. Joey, do you go 4 hours without checking your phone? No. It's just not far from your mind. I know what's going on in my chats. I know what's up. I know what's happening. That's a 10. That's the laser focus. So I want you to drop in the comments. I want you to be real with yourself. Where is my focus? Right? Yeah, and exactly. Joey said, you all have 2 working arms. You have me beat. Exactly. I love that so much. I said, you lost your voice and an arm. She actually does have her physical limbs. I just want to make sure that we know that, because that could have got awkward. People are like, you do have 2 arms. They're just shocked. But I want you to know that at the end of this call, which is right now, that you have everything you need. You have everything it takes to get you there. You don't lack anything. You don't lack personality. You don't lack the ability. You don't lack the skill set. You don't lack anything. You just lack hunger and focus. That's it. That's it. Because I know people who've built a business as a full-time ER nurse with kids at home. How was she able to do that? Her focus was there. When she was at work, she was sharing. When she was at home, she was sharing. When she was at her kids' games, she was sharing. Right? It's the laser focus in. And I want to just touch on real quick, because I see this happen, and this has happened to me. Rejection, when someone starts and they quit. When we think someone's going to do something and they don't. When you have maybe like a little mini little trauma on your team or something, right? The rejection comes in, or you feel uncertain, or you've gone backwards in points. Anything that can bring you to a place of discomfort and a place of discouragement, a place of rejection. I want to tell you this real quick. I want you to look in your eyes and I want to tell you you're not alone. And that is really normal in any business, in anything in life. I don't care if it's the church you attend. I don't care if it's your kid's school. I don't care if it's, whatever. You're going to come upon drama. You're going to come upon rejection. You're going to come upon people hurting your feelings. That's going to happen in life. And if you run away from it and you let it kind of put you down here and you let it kind of make you hide, you're not doing the world any favors and you're not doing yourself any favors, because the lesson's going to keep on coming. The lessons are going to keep on coming. So my best advice is, it's like Rocky. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how fast you can get back up. So John Maxwell talks all about that. This too shall pass. You're going to get your feelings hurt. You're going to feel rejected. But if you let it take you out of the game for 6 months, friend, if you let it take you out of the game and convince you that you don't want more, I'm just content with what I got, I'm good. Can I tell you, there's a world of people out there who are missing out on you. And I want to just remind you that rejection is normal. And like, you can come up with all kinds of slogans. Rejection is protection. I'm so glad that person left. They were so toxic. Or we can come up with all kinds of things to say to ourselves to make ourselves feel better. And that's okay. But ultimately, the prayer for your team, ultimately the mission for your team is you want there who wants to be there. So what if today you literally got so desperate and hungry and you let go of all the first world luxuries of anxiety and feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like I don't want to look stupid. You let go of all those things. And today you posted as bold as you've ever posted. You message as bold as you've ever messaged. And then you just keep on that path. Can you even imagine what would happen to your business? Like, it's exciting. It's exciting. So I want you to ask yourself, really evaluate, do I have the time to increase to work? Because I'm about to start posting more bold and I'm about to have a lot of people start building a business. Do I have time for them? Am I making the space for them? So I'm going to stop the recording, but I want to stay on here and just see if anyone has any questions around this or needs coaching around this or wants to just say, dang, that was good. Or if you want to, if you want to just check on Joey's arm, I mean, we're going to just take a minute and I'm going to stop this.